Do subscribe our Technoguru class channel and please don't forget to press that bell icon to receive further updates.
Hello friends, I'm Hitesh. Welcome to our Technoguru class and the OOPS series in C++. In this part, I'll be telling you about the friend class. So we did about friend functions. What is friend functions? So you are quite comfortable with the concept of friend. What I mean by friend. So here also somewhat we have the concept included over here. I'll just include my packages. I'll just start writing my program. I have stream.h, then hash include conio.h. So what I told you about function was friend function can access the private data members uh, of a class. So here we are talking about the friend class. So now what is friend class? Here friend class can access the private data member of other class. So here concept is quite same. There we were having function. Here we have class. So here we are using a friend class. A friend class can access the private data member of other class. So like basically if we take a normal class, if we have two classes, uh, one class cannot use the private data member of another class. Correct. But here we are using concept called friend class. As the reason friend class can access the private data members of other class. So let's see how we can do that. I'll just write a program called I'll just start. I'll say class Sam. Okay, I have one class called Sam. I have one class called Jim. So these are the two classes, Sam and Jim. These are two different classes. Fine. Here what I'm going to do is I'll take one, or let's say two variables I'll take over here, and we basically use one function to assign some value to that variable. So I'll just use set data function. So I Okay, here we'll pass some parameters so that whatever value we are getting through that parameters that we can assign to A and B. Cool, that's done. Now here Jim is going to have one variable. So let's say what is that variable? Sum. So Jim is having one function variable data member which is also a private, that is sum. So now I'll take public. We'll create one function. Okay, I'll tell you what function that I have to create over here. Now what I want to do is like Jim is one class and Sam is one class. Sam is having two variables and Jim is having some variable. So basically what I want to do is I want to do addition of A and B and add it into sum. So A and B is a member of Sam, this is a private data member. Sum is a private data member which is a member of class Jim. So uh, if I do inheritance concept, if you say if I can do inheritance, is it possible that can I add this values A and B in sum? No. Why? Because A and B are private and child cannot inherit private data members of child. Sorry, parent. So that's the case. I cannot do that. So what I can do is I can use a friend function concept. Okay, so how to do that? Let's see, I'll just start with the main part for you. I'll just write main. Okay, I'll write clr scr clear screen get ch. Fine. Now what I want to do is I'll create object of Sam first, ob1, then I'll create object of Jim, that is ob2. So in Sam, two variables are there. I need to initialize them first. So what I'll do, ob dot set data, and I'll pass two values. So let's say 4 comma 5. So these are the two values that I'm passing, 4 and 5. It's going to be stored. You're calling ob set data through ob1. Ob1 is what? It's Sam, correct? So I'm calling set data function from Sam, and I'm passing 4 and 5. So that value will be initialized to A and B. Correct. So that means OB1 will have A and B, which will have 4 and 5. Next part. Let's say I want to call OB2 dot sum. I have a sum function in OB2. So I didn't create it. Okay, I'll do sum. Already I have one variable. I'll create add function. So sum is one variable which I have in class gym. Correct. I wanted to do addition of A and B of OB1. OB1 is a separate class object, OB2 is a separate classes object. So what I'm going to do here, just observe. OB2 dot add, that means this add function is a part of OB2. So only thing I need to create that add function over here. I'll just take this down. Okay, good. So I'll create one add function over here. Okay, but function should have some return type. I'll write void. Why void? Because like I don't have anything over here to pass. I mean to sorry to return, because if I return I could have stored somewhere, but I'm not storing anywhere. That means it's expected that add is going to return nothing. And observe one thing, what I'm doing here is I'll pass this OB1 because somehow I want to access those data, that is 4 and 5, and those 4 and 5 has been stored in OB1's A and B. So that's the reason I'm passing that OB1 to add function. Okay, so I pass this OB1 to add function. Now here I have this add function which is having one parameter of type Sam, because OB1 is object of type Sam1, sorry Sam. So that's the reason what I will do here is I'll create object of Sam. I'll write OB. That means what I did, I passed OB1. In the previous example also I told you, what if I write 5 over here? If I write 5, that means I will write int a or int b or anything, because you know we are passing integer type of value, so there should be one a variable of that same type to catch that value. So that's the reason when I'm passing OB1's data type is Sam. So we should have a container of type Sam, okay, or you can say variable of type Sam. So that's what I did. Now Sam OB. Now next what I will write is sum is one variable. You know what is that sum? Sum is a variable, is a data member, you can say private variable, which is inside gym, so I can access that. So what I'll write, ob dot a plus ob dot b. Now what is that ob dot a and ob dot b? So you can see I have passed this object called ob1. The copy of this ob1 has been stored in ob. Then I'm accessing a from ob, that means I'm accessing this 4 over here, and ob.b, that means I'm accessing 5 over here. Correct? Fine. Now this way I have sum over here. So my question is it accessible? Can I use the statement right now? ob1 ob.a. Why? Because a is a private data member. You can see it can be accessed by the member of Sam only. Whereas here what we are doing is we are trying to access ob.a, I mean a. We are trying to access a through add function, which is not a member of Sam. Correct? So this is basically not allowed. So let's see what will happen if I, okay, firstly I'll just try to display this. Void display. I'll just display the sum, cout sum equal to sum. Fine. Now I'll just call this sum function over here, ob2 dot this, sorry, not sum, it's display. Sum I have already called it. So ob2 dot display. Why ob2? Because display has been created in gym class. So basically when we try to access display, it should be accessed via ob2 because gym object is ob2. So that's the way. So now what if I compile this? Okay, you're getting three errors. What are the three errors? Let's see. First, SAM A is not accessible and B is not accessible. Why it's not accessible? Because I already told you here when we are accessing A, we are accessing from add, and add is not a member of SAM. Correct. So A is a private data member of SAM. A can be accessed only by the member of SAM, whereas here we are trying to access via add. Add is not a member of SAM, so that's the reason it's not allowed. So here, what my concept is, gym class should be able to access the private data members of class SAM. This should be possible. So what I will do here is I will define this gym class as a friend class for this SAM. So I'll write friend class gym. So this way what I did is I wrote over you friend class gym semicolon. So you remember I did what in my previous video of friend class function, there I used to write that prototype of my function and then I wrote friend. It's similar kind of over here. We just have to write friend and class gym. So here I defined it as Jim as a friend class of Sam. So now let's see whether it is accessible or not. Compile. Okay, one error is there. Let's see. Oh, this error. So rest things are okay. You can see no errors. If I run this, you can see I found some of 4 and 5. If I change this value 6, 5, you should get 11 over there. It's working. So just for a quick recap, uh, add is a function, normal function, which is taking OB as a parameter. OB is what? Jim's object. Jim OB2, sorry, OB1, my mistake. It will change. Sam's object is OB1 that you passed in add function. OB1 is having what? OB1 is having a and 2 variable, that is 6 and 5. So that 2 you passed over here. Now what we are trying to do over here is an add, you're taking that as a parameter, and then you're trying to access over here, but it's not accessible directly. Why? Because ob.a and ob.b, I mean a and b, are the data member of SAM class, so it can be accessible only by the SAM's member, but here we are trying to access via gym. So that's the reason what we did is we made this class gym as friend class for class SAM. So that means whatever member, I mean whoever would be the member of gym can access, I mean even display can also access the private data member of SAM class. Now, okay, so even I can write over here in display A and B, I can display. Why? Because gym fully get access for the private data member of class SAM. So I hope you understood. So that's it for friend class. So here the friend entire topic has been finished. Thank you.